In our last video of Unit 3, we're going to take a look at how to insert, delete rows, columns, ranges, cells, and this will come in especially handy when you need to input data right in the middle of your spreadsheet and you don't want to have to go in there and delete or cut and paste. This is great for that type of action. So let's start first with inserting a range of cells. I'm going to start that by going into my worksheet again, and here I've completed the totals and the commission. Everything looks good in terms of formulas, but I want to add in one more person that we've hired on our sales team. So I'm going to go in and select the area that I want to add the data to, and that's going to be from A6 here to H6. Okay, now I'm going to go into again my home tab, and it's going to be over to the right here in the sales group. I'm going to click on this first icon. It's going to be on the lower half of the icon though, so I get my drop down, and I'm going to start with this first action called insert cells. Click on that, and because I have from A to H selected, it's going to insert that same amount of cells that I've selected. Now it's going to ask me, well, what do I want to do with these selected cells? Do I want to move them down? Do I want to move them to the right? I'm going to keep it on shift cells down. So when I hit OK, you'll notice those cells I had selected go down, and I've effectively inserted another range from A6 to H6. So here I can go in and type in the extra person we hired here, Rob Haywood. Maybe he's employee number 18, and I'll just type in some basic figures here so we have some data that we can add to our spreadsheet. And I'm not going to what's nice, you might notice, is that I don't have to put in my $sign or the cent sign because it keeps that same format that I had with all the other cells that were originally in this spot. So I'm just going to type in some basic data here, and I'll leave my total blank. What's nice now, after we've inserted this row, all I need to do to calculate the total and commission, since I already have that formula in place, is guess what? I'm going to select these first two formulas up here in cells G5 and H5, and I'm going to use that handy autofill feature and go down one cell, and it's going to automatically calculate those two missing values in the total and commission column for me. So that's how we insert a range of cells. Now let's talk about inserting an entire row or an entire column. And the easiest way to do this is you have to actually select the row. So I'm going to click on the row number, or in the case of a column, you click on the column letter. Either or works. And I'm going to right click right on top of that row number, and go down here to insert. And it inserts a row above the row that you currently have selected. So I get an entire row, I can add some more data, and of course do the same thing I did previously. Now let's say I had second thoughts, I didn't want that row. I'm going to right click on 8 again. This time instead of insert, I'm going to go down to delete, right? And it does the same thing. If I wanted to delete just a range of cells instead of the entire row, let's say maybe, we fired poor Lorraine here, I'm going to select the data that I want to delete. Now, be careful, because if I simply right click and I go down to delete, it's going to ask me, well, what do I want to do with those cells that aren't going to have the data in there anymore? So that row 7, right? Do I want to shift these cells beneath it up? Do I want to shift them to the left? I'm going to keep it set to shift cells up. I'll hit OK, and then whatever was beneath it goes up a row, and it occupies row 7 now. Alright, so these are great tools if you need to add extra rows, add extra columns, extra cells to accommodate your ever-changing spreadsheets. These are the tools you're going to want to use.